Hi everyone, I'm Scott Hope. Welcome to Mecum Full Throttle as we bring you highlights of our coverage of the Indy Fall Special held at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. You know, early autumn in the collector car world means it's time to head for Indy and spend part of your fall break watching this terrific lineup of cars cross the Mecum red carpet with a heavy emphasis on American muscle. We moved to a 1976 Trans Am SE.
Oh, good car.
Look at the opening bid, too.
Oh, please. 455 in this. This is the biggest of the big blocks you could get in the Trans Am. 4-speed manual. People really like that single headlight nose on these Trans Ams. This has got all the gold graphics, power steering and brakes. They replaced the exhaust in it. Those are honeycomb wheels you might have seen. There's the interior. Just beautifully done. And now we're at we are 52 with the reserve off.
Yep. Hey, 62,000.
Oh boy,
that's pretty good. Somebody just got a terrific car.
Oh my, happy motoring to whoever it is.
Take a close-up look at a 65 GTO, and immediately you can tell there's been a lot going on with this GTO.
Engine swap, 6-liter LS2. That's the 400 horsepower V8 engine. All customized all the way around this car. Automatic transmission. They've added overdrive to this. Candy apple red is the exterior color. Black interior. It's got vintage air. 12-bolt positive traction rear end with coil-over suspension. Headers. Flowmaster exhaust. Inside bucket seats with a center console. And I probably am going to sound like I can't get it out of my head, but yes, retro sound has been added as well.
We don't often see wheels that big in a GTO of any year, really.
Yeah, those are Riddlers.
58, now 60, reserve is off. 58.
There we go, 58, the reserve is off.
60,000, anybody get 60? Anybody get 59?
Actually, those are only 20s.
I know.
That's what they say.
The designer
anyway.
may say that, but
sometimes it makes them look bigger when the car's not lowered, you know, like that one's got a big stance to it, but that's a pretty car.
Those are jumbo.
We moved to a 67 Mustang with a 428 and an absolute beauty.
Hot, hot, hot. Ooh, look at that engine that doesn't belong in there. 1967, couldn't get the 428 Corvette jet yet. That came in 68, but you know what? It fits right in there. And this engine's been bored 40 over, so it's pushing more horsepower than the original 428. Forged pistons, Edelbrock heads, roller cam, and the horsepower keeps going up.
Go, 85 pounds.
All right, 85 grand buys it. There's a 57 Bel Air in our lineup that's green. And I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen a 57 Bel Air with this paint on it. And I don't think I have.
That's a tough one because back to the 1950s and the color palettes were really unlimited. There were so many different colors. That kind of looks original to me, but again, you know, I'm on the same wavelength as you on this. But it does have the V8, the 283, which of course, you know, was the engine that was the upgrade from the 265 that debuted in 55, with a power glide, bench seat, and a wonder-bar AM radio.
That interior really sells that car because it brings the outside in so perfectly.
Yep. You're right.
That is beautiful.
But doesn't that paint just
I know what you're saying.
Grab you?
I know what you're saying. Is that a custom mix? Is that another OEM color?
It definitely seems like a car you could see Lucy and Desi on Route 66 in. You know?
Sure.
Give me a time capsule. I'm there.
Hey, you know what? This is why I always want the convertibles to have the top down. Let us see those interiors.
Bingo. Well, it brings $54,000. Somebody just picked up a fabulous car. Here is a 1970 Challenger, and look at this. We're already at 60,000, now 65. Let's go into details on this one, Bill.
Yeah, it's a matching numbers V code. 440 cubic inch, 6-pack engine, 390 horse. with a torque flight automatic. It's got the super track pack. That means that everything is set up for, guess what, a quarter mile. 410 rear end, Dana 60, and a fantastic restoration. Fit and finish is first rate.
Chris, are you happy with the price that one's going for right now?
You know, I would have expected it to be higher. It kind of plateaued there at that amount. I mean, especially after all the stats that Bill just read off. That's what's going to make that car go up and up in value. I'm surprised the reserve is off at 66.
It just came off.
Could see what happens here.
Yeah, this could be another bargain blaster kind of deal here. That's a matching numbers powertrain, by the way. That's not a transport. Didn't start out with a 318.
File that under well bought.
Oh,
wow.
Thumbs up to that gentleman.
$67,000. 61 Impala bubble top.
Yeah, not stock by any stretch. This has been modified, V8 powered with that Phytech electronic fuel injection system, which has been made to look like the original tri-power setup that you would have gotten on the 348. Willwood four-wheel disc brakes, air ride underneath. Brand new exhaust system from front to back. 19-inch billet specialties in the front, 20-inch in the rear, and that wheel style is called salt flat wheels.
Yeah, and that's the perfect wheel, I think, for the stance of this car, the age. The red line tire really puts it over the top. And that's a bigger wheel and tire setup, obviously. But,
yes,
man, that salt flat style, having the kind of machine rough face to it with the polished lip, I love it.
Yeah, and the salt flat refers to the Bonneville salt flats and the fact that they replicate the old Halabrand kidney bean wheels, which were very popular out there on the salt flats.
And that last jib shot, you got a great idea of that roof line that gives it its name, bubble top.
Very true.
So cool.
Time for another C1 Corvette, the unmistakable features of the 1958 Corvette Roadster.
Modified for sure, LS3 in there, 400 horse. I'm sorry, LS3's 430 horse. Automatic transmission, four-wheel disc brakes. They didn't come into the Corvette till 1965. Mustang 2 front end. Interesting that they would put that in this car, but I have a feeling that that front end is going into that car that makes a better home for the LS3. Got coil-over shocks as well, digital gauges, and the aluminum radiator, which we see, which really solves a lot of the cooling problems on some of these cars that have had upgraded engines put into them.
And get a load of that taillight. First year for that taillight design, and just so improved the rear end of the C1 Corvette. Just timeless. And they got it right. So perfect. I think that showed up until they went to the squareback Corvettes in '61.
Good. Reserve is off. 52. Internet, yes, 53,000 a bid. 52.
You know, there was a time when it would be considered sacrilege to do an engine swap on a C1 Corvette.
Yes.
You're going to do what? Are you kidding me? Yeah, you'd have been shunned. But no more. Anything goes.
And in this case, this one is going out the door for $52,000. Okay, here is another one of these Ford Torino Cobra fastbacks. This one from 1969. This might be the best of the lot, and we're going to take an actual extra close-up look at this car, I think.
Well, we see up top here, that is the 428 cubic inch big block Ford, the R code, C6 3-speed automatic. And you know, when you bring a car to auction like this, people are going to want to see what the underside of it looks like. They're going to look for rust. They're going to look for repairs. They're going to see that on this car, and that answers a lot of questions. Look at how sanitary that is. The drivetrain, the exhaust system, chassis, floor pans. There's another look. So no worries with the underside of this Torino.
That is, I don't know if you mentioned it, numbers matching R code 428.
Yes, sir.
Cobra Jet, yes, sir.
Traction lock rear end. This one has AC. Ram Air.
All right, they're giving you an offer. So we have 77. The seller needs 78 to sell the car. Do you want to do 78,000? Car's yours.
That's the Mecum rule going to the phone. 78, and there it is.
Yeah, just $1,000.
Boom.
That's all they needed.
Yep, that's an easy call there. Well done to the gentleman on the telephone. on the block right now, we're going to take a look at a 1956 Mercury Montclair. Bill, take us through the details on the car, and then I've got the backstory behind this car for you.
Okay, well, this was restored using all original NOS components. That is so big. Rebuilt 312 Y-block V8 engine, automatic transmission. You see the two-tone paint. A lot of power-operated accessories in this car back in 1956. Not a lot of cars had the power top, power windows, power brakes. So yes, it's got all the right hardware to make this a true collectible.
Well, here's the story. The parents of the consignor bought a 1956 Montclair hardtop new, and then about 2010, the mom decided she wanted a convertible 56 Montclair, and this is the car. And the son spent 7 years restoring this car. Mom and dad passed away last year, and all 4 kids are here today, and they have decided that it's time to sell this one. There they are right there with Jesse Kopp.
Take a look at that Merc.
And the reserve is off at $55,000. A lot of emotion there with those kids, the Herr family.
Boy, I'll tell you, another talking point for convertibles putting the top down when they hit the block.
And it sells for $56,000. Alex McLaughlin, our man, here near the back of the room. And so that chapter for the Mercury in that family comes to an end. Mecum Full Throttle from the Indiana State Fairgrounds will continue in just a moment. Welcome back to the Indy Fall Special from the Indiana State Fairgrounds. 71 Chevelle is up next.
Yeah, we just put a set of wheels on this, and that's about it. It's got the little 365 horsepower LS5 in there. No, wait. This has a 468 cubic inch 454 that's been bored 60 over. I'm sorry, I forgot.
You are such a tease, man.
I know, aren't I? Yeah, this thing is really toting some firepower right here. 468, 4-speed manual, 12-bolt rear end. And other than the aftermarket wheels, nobody would know how much trouble is lurking in the engine bay of that Chevelle.
This one's so clean, guys. Taking a walk around that. It's funny how sometimes you think, oh, are these the right wheels for something? These are big, but they are so perfect and fit the size of this car.
Yep.
Man, is it tough.
60 grand bought that car, and a bus will follow it up. This is a 1969 VW Type 2 bus. It's a Brazilian built bus, but it's a 23-window Samba replica.
How come Rutledge isn't in there just lounging around?
You know, I was drooling on this one already. The big one that stuck out to me is at first when I saw air conditioning in the front window, because it has those Safari windows on the front, I wasn't actually sure if they really meant it. But oh no, this car has been retrofitted with an AC compressor in the back running the lines all the way up to the front, so it's got AC in there. But when you see these, the Brazilian built ones have really been coming over more and more, and you get the kind of cool styling with the split window instead of the bay, because they kept it a little bit longer down there. And, you know, those prison bars inside, we call them, the bars that are kind of wrapping the inside of those back windows.
Yep.
It's just so stylish. You know, I've got a 66 double cab pickup at home, and I can tell you what, seeing these come across the block, you get this great appreciation for the color combos and the patterns that you can really make them work on these.
1970 K10 pickup. Now look at this, four-wheel drive K10.
This is AO, all original. Pretty much. A few little changes, but the restoration, there is certainly no debate about that. It has been comprehensive. That's a short bed, four-wheel drive truck, 350 is the power plant, automatic transmission, power steering, power disc brakes, air conditioning, and look at the fit and finish. Look at how just perfectly presented that truck is. Beautiful tonneau cover over the bed there. No wrinkles in that. Original wheels, center caps, the blue and the white two-tone. And we're into the $50,000 neighborhood.
I got bad news. Therefore, 56, reserve is off.
Hey, you're in at 56 and the reserve's off.
Anybody else can bid as well. I've got 56 on that.
Well, let's see what happens now.
Yeah, still for sale.
It is. That guy may have just saved him a couple grand. Saved himself a couple grand.
56 out under David gets 71 and a half.
Congratulations, you got a beautiful truck.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
he did not pay more than he wanted to. That's
was
the bottom line, right?
Little convoluted kind of trail to get to where we got, but
Right.
it happened.
Here is another Ford Torino. This is a GT from 1970 with a 429 Cobra jet and a 4-speed behind it.
Oh, this one spells danger from bumper to bumper. That 429 has gone through a whole lot of modifications. 450 horsepower, 500 pound-feet of torque. Edelbrock, big time, 850. CFM carburetor and Edelbrock intake and hooker headers. Upgraded ignition, 4-speed manual, as you mentioned, Scott. The clutch has been upgraded to a hydraulic setup. Look at the paint on this Torino after we sneak out of that interior, that blue aftermarket paint. That blue did not come from Dearborn, I guarantee you that. They put subframe connectors underneath there to just help to bolster the bottom, the platform of this Torino. It is built to run. Adjustable front struts, 4-wheel discs, Foose wheels, and it brings over 50 grand.
55 to be exact, at no reserve. All right, our next arrival is going to be a 1970 Dodge Charger, and here it comes.
Oh, this has had some work done to it as well. Power plant's a 440 wedge, 4-barrel carburetor, 4-speed manual transmission. Boy, that's a good start. It's got a shore grip, 355 rear end, 4-wheel disc brakes, AC. Let's not forget what else has been done to the power plant. Doug's headers, stainless MagnaFlow exhaust, great detailing, excellent paint, good wheel choice.
Yeah, those year ones, those 17s, it's just the little details that sometimes can really push these cars over the top.
All right, that one's heading out of here, and we'll end up in a new garage before you know it. Well, let's, as quickly as possible, move to a 1970 Challenger TA with a 6-pack, 340 under the hood, 4-speed transmission to go with it.
I have to say that I am very surprised to see this car going on Friday and not Saturday. This is for sure the top Mopar that I've seen so far at this auction. Everybody has heard of the AAR Cuda, is in love with that car, including myself. Well, this is Dodge's counterpart to that. This is the TA. Same setup, 340 under the hood. This one is backed up by a pistol grip, 4-speed transmission, highly desirable. One of the other very unique features are the side pipes down here just in front of the rear tire. You've got beautiful restoration here. You're looking at the 15-inch rally wheels, the fuel door, the spoiler on the rear. This one's got the vinyl top, the snorkel hood covered in that Organisol material. Unbelievable restoration. Such a cool car, and the price is reflecting that so far.
And there you heard Russ Conklin pull that reserve.
79 pounds of dollars. 79 pounds.
Wow.
1 year only.
Nearly 80, but 79 will be enough to buy it and take it home. Next up is a 2009 Viper. Brother Bill, the SRT 10. 600 horses out of that V10.
Yep. By now, instead of the 8-liter V10, we're up to 8.4 liters in a V10. The first Viper, 400 horsepower. This one, 600 horsepower. The 6-speed manual, of course, found itself in all of the Vipers. Viper red exterior, as I mentioned on previous telecast, red is the only color that you could get on every year Viper. Of course, in the first year of the Viper, it's the only color you could get, but red, very popular on these cars. This is an honest 195 to 200 mile an hour car with all that horsepower, and the styling speaks for itself.
Well, reserve is off, according to Frank Mecum. And at 54,000, that's where that happens. Very nice, 56,000, and they're going to have fun with that 09 Viper. We'll be back with more from the Indy Fall Special coming up after the break. Welcome back to Indianapolis. Let's get you right back to the auction block. And the 59 El Camino, that's up now.
I really dig the engine choice. It's a 409. Of course, that wasn't available until 1961. But a 348 was available in 1959. And, of course, the 348 evolved into the 409. But this one with the Edelbrock aluminum heads, an intake, an Edelbrock carburetor, Isky camshaft, hydraulic roller lifters, Tremec 5-speed, Ford 9-inch rear end, and underneath, oh, the goodies continue. Look, there's that X-frame we talked about earlier. Beautiful stainless exhaust.
Okay, 56 grand buys that El Camino, and right behind it, that GTO.
Yeah, 11 years ago, GTOAA National Concours Award winner, and it has won other awards as well. Date code correct 389, so it's not numbers matching, but it is the correct time period 389. That's the 360 horsepower tri-power version. M21 wide ratio 4-speed, 355 rear end with safety track differential. That's Pontiac's name for the positive traction. Montero red parchment interior. Now, we're in a neighborhood right now where I would say that it would have to take a very motivated consignor to let the car go, because I think we could all remember that we have seen cars with high reserves sell for significantly less because the consignor's motivated. And there you go.
Well, you said it. And on cue, that reserve comes off at 67.
$16,000 on the GTO. 67 here to this at $68,000 and I have. Sold at 67. Sold $67,000.
Well, there we go. I think that gentleman is going to be very happy, especially at that number. Meanwhile, here is a brand new, essentially, 2025 Corvette with the 2LT trim package. And I love this exterior color, Seawolf Gray.
Yeah, and you know, it's very similar to the color on my Jeep Grand Cherokee called Rhino Gray.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. This is the middle trim level, the 2LT, but it's got that 6.2-liter, 495 horsepower V8 engine and the 8-speed dual-clutch automatic. It does have the Z51 performance package and the performance limited slip rear axle. Suspension has the magnetic selective ride control. All of these things part of that 2LT.
Yeah, tasty enough to bring $77,000. 2025 Corvette Convertible. Okay, 1953 3100 5-window pickup. When each one of us picked a vehicle to talk about here a little while ago, this was the one that I was mentioning with the rare 5-window configuration and that GM Performance crate motor. Right there it is.
Yeah, plenty of power there. The 502 has a 454 to begin with and winds up with a 502. That's what I'm guessing. Automatic transmission and a lot of extras. Vintage air, got an independent front suspension on there, and 4-wheel power disc brakes. 20-inch wheels from Bose at all 4 corners. Tilt steering column. Aftermarket gauges. Excellent build.
Look at this, and we're at 85,000. The reserve is off. This is going to be our top truck, it appears. at the auction today. Look at that. All right, $85,000 on the money. We'll go back to 1972 now, and the Chevy K5 Blazer.
Yep, nut and bolt restoration. A lot of money went into that. $350 for the automatic 4-wheel drive. Still got the build sticker in the glove box. A lot of those get lost by 2025 when you're talking about a truck that's from 1972. AC.
I really love how clean they left this build. You know, they didn't cut it up, didn't try to do anything special with it, just really let the vibe of the era stand out.
And they did a perfect job at it. Looking around it, you know, that's a 1-year only interior.
Right.
And when you see it, there's a lot of different ways you can go. When I got mine was obviously way more beat up than this when I started my restoration. But if you had started with those original wheels and original style hubcaps and go, okay, how can I do this right? I'll add a little bit of style. Okay, a white wall. It's not an aggressive tire by any means, but, you know, period correct to what would pull off the showroom floor. And it's obviously bringing the kind of money that I think these folks were hoping for.
$87,000. Starting to get into the high rent district here a little bit. And for us, 375 horse, 440 equipped Charger RT from the pinnacle year for the muscle car, the original muscle car era, 1970. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the year that Chris Jacobs was born.
I was going to say thank you. Pinnacle year. I love it, and I happen to agree too, especially in this case, real deal U-code high performance 440. That's with the 4-barrel carburetor on there. Getting a look at that matching burnt orange interior, which I really think, Bill, is the selling point of this particular car.
Yeah, a lot of times it's the color scheme.
Whoa, now 5. I get 70, 75. The cars for sale.
Reserve is off, and the number at 70 at the moment.
Trent sounded surprised that reserve came off at that exact moment. So glad that it did, though. This car is going to be going home with a new owner.
Boy, that 440 375, talk about an all-purpose engine for Chrysler. We see it so often.
Versatile,
powerful, a lot of torque.
Way more versatile than its more powerful cousin, the Hemi.
72 was the final number on the Charger. Let's move on. 1968 RSSS Camaro. Yep, you could go both ways here. Rally Sport, Super Sport.
Yeah, and big block power, big block tober. He's definitely on display here. It's a 396 underneath there that has been cammed up. Steel crank, it's been balanced. I mean, we're talking about the cam, steel crank, it's been balanced inside there, all the reciprocating pieces. FabTech 9-inch rear end, 4-wheel disc brakes, Coddington wheels, custom exhaust with ceramic coated headers.
Reserves off, 58.5. 59. Camaro's for sale.
Did I mention Frank Become Magic there?
Yeah, the consignor's shaking his head no, but Frank says the reserve's off. They got it worked out, and it's all going to be good.
Yeah.
No problem.
A lot of these consignors are customers, and they work together all the time.
Multiple cars, too, and it's just a kind of a law of averages, really, in many cases. So, yes, $58,500 buys that 68 Camaro. It is our Indy Fall Special for 2025. And look at this beautiful Bel Air. Glad they put the top up on this one, Bill, because just that fantastic mixture of colors on this Bel Air is just remarkable.
Black paint, red interior, white top. It's a melange of color on this 57. This may be one of the best restorations of the 57s we have seen here in Indy. And look at the money on the board. I think that bears that out. Matching number 283, Power Glide, power steering and brakes, and a power convertible top. That was an option. They've replaced the hydraulics in there as well. This one with the fender skirts in the back. Dual mirrors with spotlights. Boy, that is a period piece right there. A spotlight in the front had mirrors on the backside. Full wheel covers and the big tidy-whitey white walls, and you've got the full package.
And you are right. Very well done, the restoration and everything. And 72,000. Something tells me there's a pretty cool story with that guy. We'll be back with more from the Indy Fall Special coming up after the break. Welcome back to the Indy Fall Special from the Indiana State Fairgrounds. 1957 Bel Air, hardtop this time, and you see the fuel injection badging here in a total custom build here, Bill.
Oh yeah, all the way, starting at the engine, 5.7 liter LS1 with modern aftermarket fuel injection, 4L60E, overdrive, electronic, automatic transmission, Moser, 12-bolt rear end, take all that power, and fabulous finish work, paint, interior, Foose wheels, chrome, everywhere on that 57, just to a high gloss.
No reserve.
See the lower fender on the front there. It's got those OEM fuel-injected flags. And 57, you could get a fuel-injected Chevy Bel Air, and those flags were above the molding.
Still working on it, and there it is.
There
Hammers,
it is.
$55,000. Well, here's an SVT Cobra R now from Y2K, selling at no reserve.
Well, next to a 1965 GT350R, this is my favorite Mustang. Oh, are these cars hot. It's got the 5.4 liter, 385 horsepower double overhead cam V8 engine and the Tremec T56 six-speed manual transmission. These were track cars, another one of those cars where it was just born to run. High winding V8 engine. Man, you could probably hit the 6,500, maybe the 7,000 RPM mark with these. They just rev all day with the right brakes, right suspension. And they did not build many, 300, that was it. John Coletti was the top guy, SVT Performance, one of the guys that helped hatch this into really one of the most memorable Mustangs of all time.
70? I know, mine too.
70. 70.
You're calling somebody else a quitter. 69, 70, 69, baby, 70,000.
That's our man Ryan in the upper left-hand corner, just, 10 feet away from us, Bill.
Yeah.
And the guy who's in at 69 is asking for Jimmy to gavel this thing. And quick.
Sold 69,000.
He really wanted it.
Now I'll bring out
You know that, yes.
Oh, he's happy.
Uh-huh. Here is a 69 fastback for us to peruse for a moment or two.
Yeah, this has got a little 302 V8. Not very. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's a 468 cubic inch big block in there that's been all done out. Edelbrock heads, comp cam. Whoa, baby. We're talking well over 500 horsepower sitting there. Tremec 5-speed manual, traction lock rear end with 350 gears. Power front disc brakes. They restitched the interior on this. New stuff like wiring, brake lines, fuel tank. All that good stuff. Look, if that is not a gas-lighting Mustang, when you look at it, you would never know really how much chaos lives underneath the hood of that.
Not a Mach 1. You see the Mach 1 stripe.
No.
But it's got the look, man.
Yep.
It's
standard Mustang.
Beauty.
Yep. Well done.
No reserve here at 60. I love that color combination too.
Yes.
Silver jade.
Yep. That's classic.
It looks green to me, but they call it silver jade. Okay, so that one sells. On the block right now is a 2014 Nissan GTR. You know, as hot and as popular as these cars are, we don't see them on the auction block very often.
Not very often, but you're right. There's a lot of thunder you're looking at right now. 3.8 liter, 545 horsepower V6. That's a twin turbo, double overhead cam V6. with a 6-speed dual-clutch automatic, world-class sports car, no doubt about it. And boy, they just exploded on the scene when they released this car.
They sure
Nissan.
have.
Yeah.
Here's a 64 Ampha car, and look at the money this is bidding on. We all need to get into these, apparently.
They always do. The Ampha cars always bring the money. It's amazing. These are so collectible.
I mean, you look at the guy driving. Look at the smile on his face. He knows everybody knows he's the coolest guy in town right now. I mean, the fact you can put a sunbrella in there next to him, just bring the whole fam with you. And guys, I'll be honest, I realize, I'm the only one of us out of the 5 who's ever crossed a major lake, the Great Lake of Ontario, in an amphibious car. I gotta be honest, I think I'd rather take the Panther than the true Ampha car if I had to do it all over again.
Oh, you're a wise man. Yeah, this is powered by a Triumph Herald 4-cylinder engine. I had a Triumph Herald years ago, one of the sadder chapters out of my life, but I don't want to get into it now. But they call the model of these Ampha cars the 770, meaning 7 miles an hour on the water, 70 miles an hour on land. You go 70 miles an hour in that car, I am giving you the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Will your face get ripped off?
No, believe me, it'd be far from that.
60,000, what, 63 or 4,000 for that Ampha car? My goodness. Well, they've started the engine on this 70 Camaro Custom. And it's rolling right in front of us, Bill Stevens, and it's an award-winning build on this car.
Yeah, you can just imagine the war cry that's going to come out of that car when you get into that throttle. 468, that's a 454, bored out, 60 over. We've had 1 or 2 of those already. The consignor rates it at 505 horsepower, but I think that's underrating it as well. It could have more. Forged rods and pistons, nice strong reciprocating parts in the motor, hooker headers, turbo hydromatic, the 400. Look at the green. Wow, that is a color you can't ignore. Hotchkiss suspension, QA1 coilovers, lots of work underneath. Willwood disc brakes, front and rear, and billet specialties, wheels, and an aftermarket steering wheel. You get a quick look at that as well. Great build.
Bid at 53 grand.
Like that high-rise induction hood. It's another one of those cars, Scott, that we think a 6, the front of that number is probably going to have to seal the deal. But once again,
they just laid out the Mecum rule at 60 grand, and there it is.
And they got it.
Wow. That was quick. That is a textbook example of the Mecum rule.
Indeed.
We'll have more for you from Indy coming up in just a moment. You're watching Mecum Full Throttle on ESPN+. Oh, baby. Bill Stevens, look at this. $125 just hammered for this 66 Corvette with big block power.
Oh, baby, big build. Yeah, 427. That's an old school 427, not one of those new school small block 427s. 5-speed manual, frame off restoration. This kind of has the flavor of one of our friend Jeff Hayes'
Oh,
builds.
yeah.
A local hero here in Indianapolis, and this one very deservedly sells for well into 6 figures.
125. Good way to kick off the segment. We'll continue it with the 2020 GT350R Heritage Edition right behind it. That's the one that, is this the one you were talking about that Danielle didn't want to drive?
Yeah, these cars just racetrack animals. I mean, I remember when these cars were released, every single magazine that tested these cars said, man, you better bring your A game if you want to get all the potential out of these automobiles. 526 horsepower Voodoo flat plane crank engine, Tremec 6-speed. I mean, race-ready suspension and brakes, a carbon fiber rear wing. $92,000.
buys that car here at no reserve. Right now, here is the 2024 Z06 with the 3LZ package. Bill?
Yeah, and this is the one that we gave a quick look to just a little while ago. Loaded Corvette. I can't think of anything that is not checked off on this one. The Z06, the 670 horse, flat plane crank V8. 8-speed dual clutch automatic, has that electronic limited slip rear end, and the ultimate performance package. Adrenaline red stitching all around that jet black leather upholstery. Wow. Torch red seat belts. You see the quad exhaust poking out from underneath that rear valance. Carbon flash painted, carbon arrow, high wing.
Someone just got a very, very good deal on that car.
They sure did. $95,000 at no reserve. Okay, we move on to a 2017 water car, Panther. And who better to clue us in on this than our water car expert, Rutledge Wood.
I don't know if anyone could be a water car expert, but I'll try. I know about these because I've seen my friend Joey Logano, Cup champion, drive one in and around Lake Norman in North Carolina. Guys, I would show you the engine, but it's not up front. No. After you pass the interior, there's a four-speed, there's actually a Honda V6 right back here that I think is running a setup to where it's a 4-speed transmission, but there's also a jet propeller that works this thing. So for once we could say a Jeep has VTEC, which I never thought I'd say before, but these things are really cool. Just it's got rear-wheel drive only. And Dana Mecum said it would work with, I think with my Mohawk would be a pretty good swim fin there. But I think you could just drive this thing right into the water and switch over to the jet, and then you just keep going. It's not 4-wheel drive, only rear wheel. I've never seen one in person before today. This thing is legit, guys. It's bananas. What a fun ride.
Yeah, and these
Look at the money.
These were not inexpensive. These were right up there with a price point. Yeah, and that engine in there, that VTEC, that's that variable valve timing V6. 3.7 liter with a single overhead cam. That's a pretty trick motor to have in that.
I mean, you know, the Amphicar was one thing, right? But imagine if you could do highway speeds and then charge into the water and really take off.
Hey, anybody who can just rap for 90 seconds on that car qualifies as an expert.
Thank you.
And look at this. $100,000. Are you kidding me?
That's what I said.
Wow.
You would never guess,
Never,
but yeah.
Never would have thought.
You got to admit, that is super useful.
Oh, yeah.
To that, you know, to the outdoorsy type that's like, I want to go to the next city over, but also I want to go boating. And just the in-between parts I don't care for. I don't have to get the trailer out. No, just take off.
You will never see another one at the cruise night either.
No.
That's for sure.
And a 1986 Buick Grand National will be next.
Yep, Chris gave us a little Cook's tour of this automobile earlier, 1986, 1987. Probably the two most popular years for the Grand National. And of course, these cars evolved out of the Turbo Regals that came several years prior to this, and then the high watermark, of course, the 1987 GNX. So quite a history of these automobiles in terms of their performance, but the big story on this one, 8 miles showing on the odometer and first registered only 6 months ago.
Well, you know, I'm surprised actually, Bill, because it says 8 miles on the consignment sheet. The odometer now reads 9 miles. So they actually sacrificed a mile moving this car around. But man, look at the price right now at $100,000 for an 86 Grand National.
Right. Yep. Not the 87, not the GNX, and this one is going to sell.
It is indeed. The reserve is off.
A true time capsule if there ever was one, and I was giving it a very good looking over. The paint is perfect, the wheels are perfect, all of the rubber and the moldings are perfect, being reflected in that price. Only problem is you can't drive this car.
No, don't do it. No.
$105,000. The always desirable 2019 Corvette ZR1, Bill.
No doubt about it. You know, the C7 Corvette went out with a big bang. This car right here is the last of the ZR1 cars from that generation that topped the horsepower pyramid big time. 755 horsepower out of the LT5 supercharged 6.2. You could get a manual, this one with the 8-speed automatic transmission, and we've seen these with the manuals, and they definitely trade at a premium because that was the last of the manual transmissions in the Corvette, maybe forever. Carbon fiber ground effects package on that with that beautiful Sebring orange metallic paint, and a honest to goodness 200-mile-an-hour Corvette.
And that car, to their credit, really hasn't aged at all. You park that next to a C8, number one, you wouldn't think they're both Corvettes, but number two, you would think, oh, these are made at the same time. I mean, it really, that car has grown on a lot of us over the years.
Right. 0 to 60, 3 seconds flat, quarter mile, 10 seconds. And just a world-class sports car. Any way you slice it. This one just a shade over 3,000 miles.
That's Kirk Delzell, I believe, with the consignor at the table. They're trying to iron out where he's got to be.
We've seen that happen before. You just got to make the numbers work for everyone, and that's what happens. I was going to mention our good friend Michael Fuchs brought one of those to Kissimmee a few years ago. I got to drive it.
Oh.
The only thing those cars don't have, it should have, is an AED for the driver.
AED delete then, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Wow.
well, after all of that, it winds up going for 147.5. 2023 Challenger SRT Demon 170.
With 14 miles on the odometer. Chris was snooping around this a little earlier, I believe. 1,025 horsepower. We're all familiar with the story here. Boy, Chrysler really pulled out all the stops as the Hemi was being discontinued, and that whole business plan at Stellantis changed, and now we're hearing rumors that, well, maybe there'll be a mid-course correction, but in the meantime, this was the ultimate Mopar muscle car back in 2023. This one with the 8-speed automatic. They couldn't put a manual in these things. Had to go with the automatic just to keep them from spreading the transmission all over Main Street. But wow, these are loaded with so many creature comforts and performance features as well. Air grabber hood. It's got that after run chiller to cool everything down after you've had a little fun with it.
That's pitch black, red interior.
Comes with a car cover.
Okay, there we go. 160, the reserve is off. And it just hammered for $160,000. Whenever we see a Boss 429, all eyes on the car because big bucks are about to hit it.
They always do. This one's been driven a little bit. It's got over 55,000 miles on the odometer, but it is still a real 69 Boss 429. The first year for the Boss 429. That color, we see it so many times. Beautiful candy apple red, black interior. They all had 4 speeds like this one. And of course, that semi-Hemi 429 rated at 375 horsepower, which again is way below the real horsepower rating on those engines. Very sophisticated, powerful engines. 391 traction lock. We see that a lot in these cars.
$170,000 bid. And real quick, at no reserve, there's an important asterisk with this car. This has been donated to the auction by the seller. The proceeds will be going to benefit the Tulsa, Oklahoma Community Foundation. Of course, Mecum does an auction every year in Tulsa. And this is going to that community foundation. And 195, 200 is the current bid.
Wow.
That 2-year only build for the 429s. And I prefer the 69s just because I like that headlight configuration better in the 69. Easy way to tell them apart is all 69s have a body color matched hood scoop. And then in 1970, they were all black. So with the exception of the black 1969s, easy way to distinguish.
Multiple internet bidders on the other end of the computer there with Megan in the lower left-hand corner.
Yeah, it's still going up. $215,000. And still going up, and mileage really not playing a big role in people's appetite for this car.
Doesn't seem to be.
No.
You mentioned those are the original Magnum 500s too?
Original Magnum 500 wheels.
225 bid, 230,000 once, 230,000 twice. Last and final call for 230. Sold $225,000. Sold $225,000. Megan on the internet. Sold.
And thank you, Larry Shinoda, for that name. Boss 429.
Very true. And 225. With all of it going to benefit the Tulsa Community Foundation, and that is very solid in the #1 spot as far as our top sellers of this entire event now. Well, that will wrap things up for us and this edition of Mecum Full Throttle. I'm Scott Hoke. Thanks for watching. So long from Indy.